Okay, this is going to be my latest update. I need to report something on Barack Obama. I've been hearing brain to brain that Church of Gail was grounded and it went to, I believe it went to China. And when it was in China, the Chinese scientists worked with us to refit Church of Gail because all of our computer networks had been sabotaged by the Jesuits. So basically the Jesuits kidnapped Church of Gail using my sister Sandra Metcalf, and they took over our computers at Church of Gail. So my men brought Church of Gail, from what I understand, this is brain to brain, I may have to make a corrective video later, to China to revamp our, in other words, I told Vladimir, I said, just destroy all Jesuit computers on the earth, starting with Church of Gail. So they did a total revamp of the computers at Church of Gail in China. The Chinese scientists work with us. And from what I understand, Church of Gail is now operational. We've eliminated all of the Jesuit contamination into our computers by destroying, basically we just did like what you might call a system recovery at Church of Gail. We just totally destroyed all the computers and just built a new computer system from the bottom up. Now that we've done that, from what I understand, Church of Gail has been flying over the earth and using scanning technology to execute Jesuits. We get the Jesuit genetic profile in our scanners, and any Jesuits that are on earth, we are executing them. This is good, but here's an area where we need to improve. Right now, why don't we start our experiment with these scanners in the nation of Israel? I want everybody in the world to pray for Israel right now. What really disturbs me about Barack Obama, okay? As I mentioned in a previous video, Barack Obama was murdered by the Jesuits in March 2012 and replaced with an automaton. And I presumed because he was an android or a computer, he's like a robot, an automaton, that the Jesuits wouldn't be able to mess with him. But from what I've heard in my brain-to-brain communications, for at least the past month, and maybe even a couple months before then, the Jesuits have kidnapped the Barack Obama automaton and replaced him with a Jesuit clone. And I made a video about this a couple days ago, and I asked Vladimir to look into it, and apparently we have found out that the reason Barack Obama has been so anti-Israel and so anti-Russia lately is because he was replaced with a Jesuit clone. This is, fortunately, we caught the problem just in time, and now we're starting to do what you call, we're going in there and trying to fix up the mess that this Jesuit clone did. For one thing, Barack Obama, I heard him make a speech on Fox News today, and it appears that we've got the real Barack Obama back. The problem with the Barack Obama clone was he was instigating or putting into process policies that wouldn't help Israel or the United States or Russia, that would only help out the Jesuits. The Jesuits want a war because then they can start anarchy and take over a country. And right now, the Jesuits are trying to start wars all over the planet. They're trying to start one between Russia and the United States, and they're trying to destroy the Jewish race right now. You may say, why would the Jesuits care about that? If you look at some of the pictures I have on this video, you can see that the Jesuits sponsored the Nazi Holocaust. When we arrested the Nazi war criminals, we didn't get all of them. In fact, we missed the most important ones, which were the Jesuits. And they got away. And several Nazi leaders escaped to South America. I hear some of them even went to like underground cities in Antarctica, but they got away. And it's right now, the nation of Israel needs us. You may say, well, what do I care about Israel? I don't live in Israel. I don't have to worry about them. But this matters, people, because let me tell you what's going to happen. Okay? If the Jesuits, Hamas is a Jesuit organization. One way you can tell if somebody is a Jesuit organization is that they're anti-Semitic. Hamas's goal, and you'd have to be an idiot not to realize this, Hamas's goal is the annihilation of the Jewish race, okay? They don't want any Jews alive in Palestine, in Israel. And you have to be an idiot not to see that. And, this news media propaganda, I agree with Governor Perry. He states that I pretty much like what he says here. In Israel, their families are not safe. They can't even go outside their door without wondering if a rocket's going to hit them. And this is part of a much larger conflict with far-ranging implications that could affect the lives of every one of us. If Israel goes down, then guess who the Jesuits are going to go after next? You say, well, why do they want? I personally believe that Iran is a Jesuit headquarters. I think they have a lot of underground cities in Iran, and we've had a problem with this before. And they want to use Iran like as a staging place where they can launch a whole bunch of nuclear missiles all over the world. And the only thing holding them back right now is Israel, because Israel is expecting them to launch a nuke, and Israel is prepared to send a missile up to intercept it. If they can get rid of Israel, then nobody's going to be there to stop them when they send their nukes out. Israel knows this. This is why they're trying to destroy the Jewish race, the Jews over there in Israel. They want to remove all the barriers that will stop Iran from becoming aggressive. Okay? One thing that we need to do, folks, okay, Vladimir Putin and I, even though Vladimir is the Russian president and he works with Iran, he is aware that Iran's a big problem. Okay? And I believe they have underground bases in Iran that they're going to try to use to launch a worldwide nuclear holocaust. And right now the Jesuits want to get Israel out of the way so they can do this. We need to stop them. Okay, what we need to do, we need to send, the Israeli scientists have been working with us to develop a prototype computer, which is a good computer that cannot be controlled by the Jesuits. And we appreciate what the Israeli scientists have done. But what we need to do now is, now the Church of Gail has been refitted and we have good computer at Church of Gail, we need to go in there and help Israel right now. Israel is fighting for their life. They're getting bombarded with rockets. The Hamas peace truces are a joke. They see that as an opportunity to kill more Jews. Right now, during one of the truces, they abducted a Jew. They were supposed to not do anything, and they attacked Israel and violated the truce. And they're deliberately planting children and families in the same places where they're firing their rockets, so that the only way Israel can get rid of the rockets is they have to kill innocent civilians. They just put them there on purpose to make martyrs out of themselves. The Jesuits and Hamas are famous for this. Okay, here's what we need to do. Okay? We've got scanning technology developed at Church of Gail right now. I want us to volunteer our spaceship. We're going to go right over Israel and put the scanners right over the Israeli nation and see if we can detect any Jesuits in those tunnels down there. We're going to see if we can use like X-ray technology to go through the and first we may have to, Israeli scientists work with us to find a way to break the Jesuit shield, okay? This is not only going to help Israel, it's going to help us. The Jesuits have shields over their computers all over the world, and most of their computers are underground. And until we defeat their underground facilities, like these tunnels, they don't just have tunnels in Israel. They've got them all over the world, and I'm sure they have them in Iran. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with Israeli scientists and get some scanning technology that will defeat the Jesuit shield. I invite scientists all over the world to help us. This not only helps Israel, it helps us. Like I told you, when Israel goes down, then Iran's going to get aggressive. They may start a worldwide launch of nuclear missiles all over the world. Israel won't be there to stop them. And guess who's going to be the targets? It's going to be us. So we need to go into Israel right now. work with their scientists to develop the scanning technology to execute every Jesuit hidden in those tunnels underneath Israel. We're going to kill them all. We will also develop scanning technology to wipe out all of their infrastructure. Okay? We're going to scan for all of the Hamas infrastructure in Israel and in Iran and in the surrounding countries, and we're going to wipe them all out. Okay? We're going to work with Israel on that. So I want our scientists all over the world, Christian brothers and sisters, pray for Israel right now. Okay? Their problem is going to end up being our problem. So, first of all, I want our scientists. We've got our computers up at Church of Gail. Hallelujah. Now we're going to work on a scanner to destroy the Hamas infrastructure in Israel and Iran and Syria and Egypt and all the countries. I want you Muslims that hate Jesuits, I want you to work with us. Okay? Not all of you like the militant aspect of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay? You help us. Okay? You are not going to be helping yourself if you allow the Jesuits to take over the world. Okay? They're going to set up concentration camps like they did in Nazi Germany. Anyways, we're not going to put up with militant Islam, okay? If you are there, by the way, this is how I define a Jesuit. A Jesuit could be an Islamic militant. They could be a Roman Catholic militant. They could even be a Christian. We've got some right-wing fanatics here in the United States that are Jesuits. They're these gun-toting fanatics that are going around killing people, and they're claiming that they're conservative Christians and they're Jesuits in disguise. So we don't care what religious cover you use. If you're a Jesuit, we're going to knock you out. Okay? Right now, we're going to go into Israel. All Jesuits are going to be executed. Set up scanning. We're going to go in there and help the Israeli troops. Hopefully, by doing this, they won't have to send as many of the ground troops underground. We can use scanning technology to just use like an X-ray and go through all those tunnels, and we're going to just destroy all of their infrastructure. We're going to work with Israeli scientists on this. What we learn from helping the Israelis, we're then going to apply worldwide, working out from Israel, going to Syria, Egypt. So let's get on it, okay? We need to stand with Israel. I believe Barack Obama would agree with me on this, because the only reason he made those jackass comments, and that's what I'm going to say, about about the UN saying that we need to send Hamas the Iron Dome. That is so idiotic. It's not even worth commenting on. Okay, we're not going to take any of that garbage. We're going to go in there and help Israel. We're going to set up scanners. We're going to destroy all of the infrastructure. We're going to set up the scanners, and we're going to execute every Hamas militant who are Jesuits. They're all going to go. Scientists help us to develop the genetic scanner so we can detect all Jesuits underground in Israel and all the surrounding countries. And then once we succeed with that, we're going to do it worldwide. Let's get to work on it. This is very important. If Israel's knocked out, it's going to be us next, folks. It's going to be us next.